So I'm Scott Howell, the third. I'm on the Slack. I've got pretty involved on the Slack channel because come to find out DevOps is actually kind of a passion of mine. I didn't realize that because I've only been doing DevOps for a year and a half. But I usually have Cub Scouts on Tuesday nights, so I can only meet June, July, and August before I have to go back to Cub Scouts. So I was like, I want to come speak at a DevOps meetup and talk about what is DevOps, because I've went through 3 phases in my DevOps career so far of what really is DevOps. So I started out, I was a front-end web developer. I actually am self-taught in software development, didn't take any classes, taught myself while I was in grad school. I was learning to be an accountant, and I didn't want to wear a suit every day, so I decided I was going to teach myself how to code. Got a front-end job. I'm at Pinsight Media, and Caleb Hyde was like, hey, you want to come over and work on the DevOps team? And I'm like, sure. I don't know what it is, but I'll come over and kind of find out. And so that was the first phase. I was like, what the hell's DevOps? I build servers all day. I work on AWS. Like, what does that do? What do I do for the company? Besides making sure that our platforms are running all the time. So about a year later, I finally kind of, I wouldn't say a year, about 6 months later, I finally thought about what DevOps was, and I was like, it's all about automation. I'm going to automate the shit out of everything so I don't have to work anymore. I just going to sit back, automate everything. I don't care what it is, we're going to automate it, we're going to put it into Jenkins, we're going to write Ansible playbooks for it, and we're going to automate the hell out of it. And so I went through that phase, and I got really, really good at Ansible, and I could do all kinds of cool shit in Ansible, and pretty much our lives on the DevOps team went from being frantic and running fire drills at the end of every platform release, getting ready for a deployment, because we didn't know when they were, to kind of sitting back and having fun and doing some cool stuff in Ansible. And I was like, this is what DevOps is. So I got introduced to a book called The DevOps Handbook. It's by the guys that wrote the Phoenix Project. And I started reading that. Because I read the Phoenix Project when I was in college. I didn't know what the Phoenix Project really was because I wasn't experienced in the business world. So I just thought it was really super cool. I was like, oh, this is cool. This kind of is about what I learned in grad school with information systems design. But I was like, I don't know how to apply any of that. So I've been doing DevOps for 9 months and read DevOps Handbook, and I was like, okay, well, we should probably do some of this stuff at Pinsight Media. And I'm like, how do I do it? And I started getting really frustrated. I wanted to quit. I didn't think we were on the right track. I thought everyone was against the DevOps team because they were all idiots in the whole company, and the DevOps team were the only people that knew what the hell was going on and knew how to get the company to actually do what the DevOps handbook said. So I was flying back from Washington, D.C. back in late March, early April, and I was reading a book on continuous deployment. I'm pretty sure it's a textbook that I'm sure in some crazy grad school class they have to read for this class. And it dawned on me, what is DevOps? And I've actually came up with my own definition to help me reiterate to myself what DevOps is so I don't get into that frustration mode that I was in where I hated my life, I hated the job that I was in, and I hated Pinsight Media and wanted to leave. So I had to put this in the back of my mind to always tell myself, what is DevOps? And I said, and I say it is, to help deliver value to the customer that is high quality and quick. Okay? There's a couple of things there. I didn't talk about any technology. I didn't talk about any automation. I didn't talk about developers or any specific parts of the business. Because I realize that DevOps isn't just for the tech people. It's not just about automation. And it's not just something for developers to have to work on, or guys like us, the DevOps engineers at a business. It's something that the whole company should embrace. Because if you embrace doing things that provide value to the customer, and it's high quality, and it's quick, the company will move exponentially faster. And the reason I say that is because everyone should be looking at constraints in their value process. The value process is the concept, so the idea to where it meets the customer. And once you start thinking about like fixing your constraints, so the problems in your process, then it becomes really easy once you fix your manual process and make it really efficient to automate the shit out of it and do exactly what I thought I needed to do in my kind of second epiphany that I went through. Because at that point, when you have the whole company buying into the process, it makes it a whole lot easier, I think, to improve how quickly a company can move. So you go from being an actual DevOps engineer to, I really say, an inside sales or an inside consultant for the business. You're a business consultant because you have to sell everyone else on what DevOps is. You also have to kind of like educate them on like how they can fix their processes, because the first step isn't automation, because we come to find out all that automation we did, it actually was really bad because we didn't do our Ansible correctly, so we had to rebuild everything because we were trying to move too quickly and understanding the actual processes we were going through. So I'm done speaking, but I'd love to take some questions because I'm sure I'm going to have questions or comments by my idea of what DevOps is. So go ahead and shoot if anyone has any questions or they blow people's minds. Yeah.
When you try to explain DevOps to a business person, what's your experience with that?
Well, so I wrote up a little white paper I presented to our CEO, and then he had me go to all the directors and a bunch of product owners. And actually, when you take the tech out of it, and you just explain it as a value process improvement, that's all really DevOps is, they all get it, and they all want to do it. It's really interesting. When you pull tech out of all this stuff, and you just lay it out with, you're just finding constraints and fixing the constraints in the process, they all want to start doing it, and like doing it quickly. We pivoted in Pinsight, we restructured the whole company. We're now doing Scrum the way Scrum's supposed to be done instead of the nasty hybrid that we were running that wasn't working. And I will say that it was real slow for the first 3 iterations, and we're now on about the 4th, I think we're on the 5th one, and things are starting to like really click with people. Like things are starting to move really well. So, but we're also applying DevOps, looking at constraints, trying to fix the processes that we do. But we've kind of stepped back from automating things. Right now, we're just looking at trying to make our manual processes more efficient. Because once we get that, then we can actually automate a really good process. Yeah.
What's your big success story? I know you've only been there for 9 months, but can you?
Yeah, so, well, I've been doing DevOps at Pinsight for a year and a half. I've been there for about two and a half years. I would say my big success right now, for us, we rebuilt all of our Ansible playbooks. We can literally bring up servers for any of our platforms like that. I can't build any of the infrastructure yet, so I still have to go out to the GUI and put the servers and the auto-scaling groups together. But once I have that, I can just fire off a playbook and configure and deploy any of our platforms. And it's really cool. Now that might not be kind of what I talked about, but we're kind of in the infancy stage of that process of kind of changing the culture.
This is your manual process.
Yeah, so manual process, so one thing that we've really been looking at is one of the teams, they used to regression test one of our mobile applications, the whole thing. They had like 45 pages of a manual process to regression test this app. And they've got it down to about 5 pages now of like steps to go through because they figured out 3 or 4 happy paths and then test the new features. And that's it. That's all they do. And they've figured out that that's probably the best. Now the next step is to write automated tests that can run all those things that they're doing manually. But we're trying to decrease the time to put the value out there to the customer. And that's when you word it that way to a business person, they get it. Like they get what DevOps is at that point. Yeah, don't talk to them about automated testing or infrastructure as code or anything like that. Just talk to them as getting the value in front of the customer as quickly as possible. And then it's high quality. Because everyone wants that high quality and quick value. Because that's how you make money. Yeah.
How have your conversations or selling of DevOps gone with like security teams and things like that?
So security team, our DevOps team, those are the security guys. So we get it. Like the DevOps guys get it. We don't have a lot of separate. We're only 100 people. So our infrastructure. We have a whole data center downtown. It's about a 600 node Hadoop cluster, storing about 60 petabytes of data. They're using Ansible now because they figured out that they can use Ansible on their data center stuff. They were configuring every server by hand, so they'd spin it up and configure it out. And now they're even using Ansible. So, like, some of the tech stuff is really working on the other teams that I kind of work with, but selling the DevOps to our application developers and mobile developers, yeah, it's been a hard sell because they're from big enterprise. They think they just hand things off to the next person. So that's been kind of a hard sell to make them understand that they have value all the way across when the code's, from the time the code's written until the time it goes on the server in production. But we're getting there. I think as they see how the stuff that I work on, how it works, and the stuff they work on, I learn how that works, that kind of cross education gives us value on both sides, so they're not trying to figure out, as we put it, throw the shit over the fence to our team. So we're kind of in the, if it's a 10-step process, we're at like step 1.5. We've educated everyone, now everyone kind of needs to get on board and start moving the train down the tracks.
You mentioned 2, maybe 3 books. Can you put links to those books?
Yeah,
in the Slack?
Yeah, I put them out. I try to sell them ever so often to people, but yeah, I'll put them out there. And there's a bunch of white papers that I've pulled from IT Revolution, which is Gene Kim's company, public company that works in conjunction with that. But they have a ton of great info to like build your case of why DevOps is really important.
Maybe we should start like a Google Doc or whatever that's shared.
Yeah, we can.
Just start, it's like Slack, we're not paying for it, so in a couple months, we have that 10,000 limit. A lot of times I go back, I'm like, oh man, I know we talked about this at a certain time, and it was like, it's gone. Which for me is like the worst feeling in the world, to lose things. I hate losing things. Come on up here, Chris. Okay, fine. We're gonna do the news. This is new for both of us.
By the way, round of applause.
Yeah. You should MC the rest of it.
I mean, nah. You got the hair for this, I don't.
It's only the second hair comment tonight so far.